Hi, let's talk about the cost of living in Massachusetts. So, we'll get a little specific with the cost of living for Worcester, Massachusetts, and then we will compare it to the cost of living in Boston, Massachusetts. So, the cost of living in Worcester is 20% less for expenses than it is in Boston. The cost of living is really a number that is referring to the expenses required to maintain a certain standard of living in a particular location. So I am going to share my screen here. Let's see. Okay. So I've got pulled up this one website says the cost of living in Worcester, Massachusetts, 15% higher than national average. Housing is 20% higher than the national average. Utilities are 31% higher than the national average, and groceries are actually 2% lower than the national average. So then let's check out Worcester in particular. So I use this website for cost of living for Worcester, Boston, whatever it is that I'm looking at. As you can see, we've got ranges here. So restaurants, this is all like food industry, what the cost average is, and the kind of shows you in comparison. So let's see. Restaurants, meals, average is around 20. Meal for two people in mid-range restaurant, three courses, $65. Markets, your milk, the average is $3.60. So these are your groceries, transportation, utilities, basic electrical, heating, cooling, water, garbage for a 915 square foot apartment, average 193. Phone, $41, internet, $64. Sports and leisure, childcare. So childcare is always an interesting one. Preschool or kindergarten, full day private monthly for one child, 1723. International primary for one child, $22,000. Clothing and shoes. Okay, so apartment. Here we go. Worcester. In the city center, so in the downtown area, basically, average is 1850 for a one bedroom. Outside of Worcester city center, outside of downtown, would be 1740. A three bedroom in downtown, 2783, and a three bedroom outside of downtown would be 2275. So price per square foot, whether you're inside downtown or outside, 275. Average monthly net salary after tax, 39.80 per month. Mortgage interest rate in percentages for 20-year fixed is 6.55. So this is Worcester. Let's see. Okay. And cost for Worcester versus Boston. So as we noted, Boston is on average 20% higher than Worcester. So you've got restaurants, Boston is higher, 25%, 107%, 33% in every category except for McDonald's. Um, Market, Boston is higher in every category except for local cheese and chicken fillets. Let's see, transportation. Worcester is higher on taxis, I would assume, because it's less common to find a taxi in Worcester. And then Boston's higher for taxi 1 hour waiting. Gasoline, Boston's higher. Um, and then, oh, these are cars. Okay. Utilities, Boston on average higher. Fitness, Boston higher. Childcare. So remember, Worcester is 1723 for preschool, full day private for one child. Boston is nearly $1,000 higher than that, 2793. And then international primary school yearly for one kid, Worcester 22,000, Boston 27.5. Clothing, except for men's business shoes, Boston's higher. Rent per month. Okay, here we go. If you are in Boston Center, your average rent for a one bedroom, 3360 compared to Boston, which is 1850, or Worcester, which is 1850. Boston, let's see, outside of the center, so outside of Boston, 2460. Worcester is 1740. And then three bedroom, you're looking at a rent if you're in Boston, 5972. If you are outside of Boston for a three bedroom, 3895. So cost of living certainly higher in Boston compared to Worcester. Average monthly net salary after tax for Boston, 57.17. And then Worcester is 39.80. So obviously historically much higher. Let's see. Differences. Cost of living in Boston is 40% higher than in Worcester. That's what this website says. Cost of living, including rent, is 54.8% higher than Worcester. Prices in Boston are 81% higher. Prices are 46% higher. Groceries, 25% higher. Local purchasing power in Boston is 7.2% lower than in Worcester. So you would need around $9,442 in Boston to maintain the same standard of life that you can have with $6,100 in Worcester, assuming that you rent in both cities. So that is cost of living, a little comparison. For Worcester and Boston. What are your questions? Are you looking in Worcester? A lot of people have migrated outside of Worcester. A lot of companies are migrating outside of Worcester, or I'm sorry, a lot of people are migrating outside of Boston for the cost of living, and outside, a lot of companies are also coming closer to Worcester, leaving Boston area because of the prices. So, where are you looking? Where are you home searching? I am an expert, especially in Worcester, Auburn, Shrewsbury, Grafton, all of those local areas, all of those surrounding towns. So, if you have any questions at all, let me know. All of my information is in the description, and I look forward to chatting with you and home searching with you.